2026 might actually be one of the best years for horror games we've ever had, and I'm not just talking about the big names everyone already knows about. I've dug deep into this one. There are games on this list most channels won't even cover. 15 games, all of them terrifying. Let me know in the comments below. Have I actually found a good game you don't know about? So let's get into it. Right, we're starting with one that's already out and barely anyone is talking about. Crisol, Theatre of Islands, is a Blumhouse published first-person shooter. Set in an alternate Spain where you're fighting religious statues that have come to life. Wooden effigies, stained glass figures, oil paintings that peel themselves off the wall and come at you. Already sounds mental, right? But here's the thing that makes this game properly unhinged. Your guns don't take bullets, they take blood. Your blood. To reload, you literally let the weapon jam a needle into your hand and drain you. So every single reload is a gamble. Do I have enough health to survive this? It turns every encounter into pure panic. If you've been sleeping on this one, stop it. This game is legit. This one is from Darkstone Digital, the studio behind the Mortuary Assistant, which, if you played it, you already know these developers understand how to make you feel unsafe in a room. Paranormal Activity Threshold goes full found footage. You're following Daniel and Jessica Stewart as they renovate their first home. Old, fallen apart, full of character. And then the recordings start picking up things that shouldn't be there. The Mortuary Assistant proved this team can build slow, creeping dread that escalates into actual panic. And pairing that skill set with the Paranormal Activity franchise feels like a perfect match. If you like the first couple of films before the series went off the rails, you know what I'm talking about. This is the game that's trying to recapture that original feeling of watching your security camera and seeing something move that shouldn't. Unsealed, the Mare, is a first-person psychological horror game where you play as Vera, a woman trapped inside a nightmare built from her own family's tragedy. Sounds like a standard horror fare, right? It's not. The nightmare is constructed from her actual memories, and as you dig deeper into what happened to her family, those memories start corrupting and twisting the dream around you. You progress through 3 chapters, each one introducing new mechanics and getting significantly harder. You've got a flashlight, a lighter, a camera and light bulbs, but supplies are limited and when they run out, you're in the dark with whatever's hunting you. The game uses sound as a core survival mechanic. You have to listen for whispers, giggles, creaking floorboards to know where the threat is. Death doesn't end it either. Death is just another memory, sealed away, and you come back with that knowledge rotting inside you. This one's out March the 10th. What do you think? Okay, this is the one that might actually be the scariest game on the list and almost nobody knows about it. PERCEPTUM is a 3-hour psychological horror experience where you play as a medium, investigating a family that vanished from their home. Screen Rant literally ran a headline saying this game might dethrone PT, and honestly, having played the playtest, I get why they said it. Your only tools are a pocket mirror and your ability to close your eyes. The mirror shows you things that aren't visible to the naked eye, hidden messages, disturbing reflections, stuff you absolutely did not want to see. Closing your eyes makes you completely vulnerable but lets you hear whispers and sounds from the other side. The house reacts to your presence. Familiar rooms start feeling wrong. Silence becomes this crushing, suffocating thing. And when something finally reveals itself, you cannot fight back. There is nothing you can do. The demo is available right now on Steam and I'm telling you, wishlist this one immediately. If you've never played Fatal Frame 2, Neil Druckmann once called it the scariest experience in any medium, and the man made The Last of Us, so he's not saying that lightly. You play as twin sisters trapped in a ghost-infested Japanese village, and your only weapon is a camera. The camera obscura. To damage ghosts, you have to photograph them, which means you have to stare directly at the thing that's trying to kill you, wait for it to get close enough for the perfect shot, and then take the photo while every fibre of your being is screaming at you to run. Team Ninja has rebuilt the entire game from scratch. New visuals, new audio, expanded map, new areas, and modernised controls. This isn't a remaster with a filter slapped on it. This is a full grown-up remake of what many people consider the scariest game ever made. Obviously this one's on the list. Resident Evil Requiem drops on the 27th of February, and everything we've seen so far suggests Capcom is going back to pure survival horror after the more action fantasy stuff in the village. You've got two protagonists, Grace Ashcroft handling the stealth horror sections with limited ammo, ink ribbons and actual terror, and Leon Kennedy on the action side with his new hatchet and disarm mechanics. The big innovation is you can swap between first and third person at any point. And let me tell you, when that new stalker enemy comes around the corner and you're in first person, it hits completely different. The early demo impressions are saying this thing is legitimately frightening. The setting is the bombed out ruins of Raccoon City 30 years later, and whatever's still living there has had 3 decades to get worse. 27th of February, mark that date. Remorses by Twisted Lion Games is one of those slow burn horror experiences that doesn't jump at you, it crawls under your skin and stays there. You play as Jake Lepisto, an investigator who spent his career chasing supernatural legends without ever actually facing real consequences. That changes when he walks into the Westbrook mansion in River Valley, Lakota territory, chasing rumours of witchcraft and disappearances. The gameplay loop is unlike anything I've seen. You'll learn in actual witchcraft, brewing potions from ingredients you find, investigating rooms for clues, all while maintaining your sanity. And here's the wild part, you have to open windows to breathe fresh air and clear your head. Ignore that, and whatever's messing with your mind starts winning. Your sanity system isn't a meter on the screen, it's the world falling apart around you. This one's coming Q2 this year, and it deserves to be massive. From the creator of Summerland and We Never Left from the Dread X collection, Project Songbird is a cinematic first-person psychological horror game set deep in the Appalachian forest. You play as Dakota, a musician who has to record something out in these woods. And I'll leave the story details vague because discovering what's happening is half the terror. What I will say is this, it's a one-person studio, one developer made this, and the atmosphere in the trailers is absolutely suffocating. Dense forest, oppressive silence, and that creeping feeling that you've walked into something you were never supposed to find. If you like your horror slow, isolated, and deeply personal, this is your game, and it's coming March the 26th. When Frictional Games makes a horror game, you pay attention. These are the people who made Amnesia, The Dark Descent, which traumatized an entire generation of gamers, and Soma, which traumatized that same generation in a completely different way. Ontus is set inside a hotel on the moon that's been repurposed into something no one will fully explain yet. There's illicit experiments, family history, fractured reality. Frictional don't do jump scares, they do existential dread. They make you question what's real, what you're actually looking at, and whether you should keep playing at 2 in the morning. You should not, but you will. There's no confirmed date yet, but it's confirmed for 2026 and well, that's enough to put it on any horror list. Finally, we're getting a proper HELLRAISER game. Not an asymmetric multiplayer cash-in, not a mobile game, not a Dead by Daylight skin, a full single player, first-person survival horror game with Clive Barker himself directly involved and Doug Bradley back as the voice of Pinhead. You play as Aiden, whose romantic evening goes catastrophically wrong when the lament configuration gets involved, as it tends to, and now you're fighting cultists, demons, and Cenobites to save your girlfriend from literal eternal damnation. You've got melee combat, gunplay, stealth, crafting, and supernatural abilities from a new puzzle box called the Genesis Configuration. Saber Interactive have confirmed they're pushing the mature rating as far as it'll possibly go. That means body horror, explicit scenes, the full HELLRAISER experience. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, you're about to find out. February the 12th, Silent Hill Transmission finally showed us real gameplay of Townfall, and I nearly fell off my chair. It's first person, it's set in a cursed Scottish village, and it looks absolutely horrendous in the best possible way. Developed by SONGBIRD, the team behind Stories Untold and Observation, this is a proper survival horror with combat, exploration, and the unmistakable Silent Hill atmosphere of fog, decay and wrongness. We've known about this game since 2022, and we've had almost nothing to go on until now. Pre-orders are already up on Amazon and Best Buy. After Silent Hill 2 Remake and Silent Hill F absolutely delivered, the franchise is on a streak. Townfall could be the one that keeps it going. There's no exact date yet, but 2026 is confirmed. Ill is the game I show people when they say graphics don't matter in horror. They absolutely do. This is a first-person action horror game with some of the most photorealistic body horror I've ever seen in a video game. You're trapped inside a massive research fort that's been overtaken by creatures called aberrations, and these things don't behave like normal video game enemies. They react to their surroundings on impulse. They have disturbingly human reflexes, and they look like someone took a human being and just got it wrong. The team behind this game has worked on actual horror films, Longlegs, Until Dawn, VHS Beyond, It, Welcome to Derry. These are people who understand what makes something visually disturbing on a fundamental level. There's no confirmed date yet, but it's coming, and it's going to make people very, very uncomfortable. This might be one of the most interesting hidden gems on the entire list. Agni, Village of Calamity, is an Indonesian survival horror game rooted in Javanese folklore and mythology. You play as Agni, an investigator from a covert police unit who defied direct orders and ventured into a remote village that everyone told her to stay away from. The game uses fixed camera angles, proper classic Resident Evil style, combined with cinematic presentation to create this deeply atmospheric, culturally grounded horror experience. This isn't a generic Western horror. The creatures, the environments, the lore, it's all drawn from Indonesian folklore that most Western players have never been exposed to. That unfamiliarity makes everything 10 times more unsettling because you actually don't know the rules. You don't know what these things are, what they want, or how they work. And that is terrifying. Illphonic is making a Halloween game and you play as Michael Myers in first person, looking through the eye holes of his mask. But you can't just kill people. Michael has a bloodlust meter. Until it's full, you cannot attack. How do you fill it? You stalk. You follow people through Haddonfield in the dark. You stand in doorways. A civilian spots you, looks away, looks back. You're gone. They walk home, turn around. You're right there. This is the game. It's not about power. It's about patience, and it's horrifying. He's also got shape jump. If no one's looking and there's no light, Michael vanishes and reappears anywhere on the map. Survivors never know where he is, ever. There's also a full single player story mode where you relive the night he came home from Michael's perspective, with John Carpenter executive producing and the original Shape actor Nick Castle doing the motion capture. September the 8th is spooky season sorted. We're closing with one that's being pitched as Event Horizon meets The Thing, and if that combination of words doesn't immediately get your attention, then I don't know what will. Directive 8020 is a 5th Dark Pictures game from Supermassive, but it's also the start of Season 2, which means a bigger budget, longer development time, and a brand new turning point mechanic that lets you rewind pivotal decisions and try different paths. You're on a colony ship surveying humanity's last hope, a planet called Taciti F, and surprise surprise, you're not the only life form out here. Direct character control for the first time in the series. Flashlights, scanners, inventory management. This is the most ambitious Dark Pictures game by a long stretch. May the 12th, bring your friends. You're going to want someone to blame when everything goes wrong. That's 15 horror games in 2026 that I actually believe will ruin your sleep. If I've missed one you think should have been on here, fight me in the comments. I read them all. If you want to see my full review of Resident Evil Requiem when it drops on 27th, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.